Hey guys, I'm Pixel Dan, and this is a review of the DC Collectibles Batman Arkham City Ra's al Ghul. That's right, the big bad comes to the Batman Arkham City toy line as part of Series 3. Ra's al Ghul comes in the standard blister card packaging that we've seen all of the DC Collectibles Arkham City figures come in so far. You've got the blister bubble housing the figure that is shaped like Batman's cowl, and in the background you've got this great image of Arkham City straight out of the video game. The back of that box shows off all of the figures currently available in Series 3 and gives you some information on the Batman Arkham City video game that these figures are based on. Alright, so let's go ahead and take a look at the figure outside of the packaging. Now, just like with all of the figures in the DC Collectibles Batman Arkham Asylum and Arkham City lines, the figure is about in that 6 to 7 inch scale. He's got a great amount of detailing, which does a wonderful job of capturing the likeness of the character as he appeared in the video game. This is definitely one of the better ones. Taking a look at that sculpt of the face, it looks just like the character did in the game, which I really love. And you've got a great amount of detail going on in the paint as well. You gotta love the nice red puffy bags that are around his eyes that give him kind of that really evil look. You got some great details on his arms, such as the bright green dragon tattoos you can see going up and down both arms there. And then all of the little intricate details in the costume are also a very nice touch. Now, as far as the articulation goes on this figure, the head is able to turn both left and right and slightly move up and down. You'll notice he does have little shoulder pads over his shoulders, but luckily those are on hinge joints, so they can move up and down, and they don't hinder the movement of the arms whatsoever. You got ball-jointed shoulders, you have swivels at the biceps, single joints at the elbow there, and then you have a swivel at the wrist, which is actually the glove cut swivel. The wrist itself does not swivel on its own, but swiveling it at the glove cut does act as being able to turn the whole hand around. You have a swivel at the waist, and then just like we see on most DC Collectibles figures, the legs only have that forward, backward type movement there at the crotch. You have single joints in the knees there, and then unfortunately there's no more articulation under that. There's no boot swivels, no ankle joints or anything there. Now, that's not so bad on this figure because he does stand fine on his own. I will point out that Series 3, just like Series 2, did do away with the figure stands, unfortunately, so there's no stand for him. Luckily, he's not in a position where it's hard for him to stand up, but since we don't have any ankle or foot movement whatsoever, he's very limited in the poses you can actually get with him. All of his posing is going to be in his upper body only. Now, he does include one accessory, which is his sword, as seen in the video game. It's also got some great detailing. I love the gunmetal type silver strokes you can see in the sword blade there, and there's a cool little insignia sculpted in it as well. He can hold it in his right hand, which is the hand sculpted for holding the sword, as his left hand is more opened. Overall, I'm a pretty big fan of this particular figure. Now, with the DC Collectibles Arkham City figures, one thing that they've really got going for them is the great sculpts. For the most part, they always do a terrific job of capturing the likeness of the characters right out of the video games. One of the downfalls of these figures is the fact that the articulation is all over the place in this line. Sometimes they have great articulation, other times not so much. Ra's al Ghul here is kind of in the middle. While his lower body has pretty useless articulation, you can still get some good posing out of him in the upper body. And like I said, I do still really like the sculpt on this guy. So overall, I'd say he's a good figure to pick up from the series, especially if you want the big main villain from the Arkham City video game. The DC Collectibles Arkham City Series 3 are in specialty stores now. If you don't want to do any hunting, then you need to head on over to www.pastgenerationtoys.com to check out their selection of Batman Arkham City figures and much more. Until next time.